It's January 3. Welcome to 2024. How are we all? Nice to have you on board. Hey, just having a look through the chat. Yeah, I'm by myself today. Just having a look through the chat. Hi, Team Ducks. Bye, Joe. Welcome aboard, Joe. You cracked it as number one in the chat. And for that, you get your 785 trillion Fair Star points, which is worth jack nothing. What can I say? Sharon, welcome aboard. Nice to have you here. Nice to see you. Hope everything is well with you and your sis. And Happy New Year to you. We've got Bidet Nick. Welcome aboard, Nick. Nice to have you here, buddy. Happy New Year to you. And yes, the countdown is very close. We're into the same year, right? Joe saying bidet to Nick and to Sharon. Sharon, Happy New Year. Thank you very much. Really appreciate that. Hope your New Year was great. Well, you know what, folks? It's 2024. I can without a doubt say 2023 sucked. There were some good moments. The good moments were time with my parents on board ship for their very first cruise. It was a year of excitement with Ilana and so forth, but other things have dragged it down, both health-wise with my father and health-wise, not only health-wise, but yeah, health-wise with economies and political issues, as in wars around the world and families possibly being injured. And so we tried to shut the gate on 2023 and open up 2024. And 2024 seems to be heading in the right direction, and that's exactly what we want to see. Sharon is saying she went to the doctor yesterday with her sister. Everything went super great. Well, that is the best news ever. Well done, and tell your sister our prayers will continue. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. And we have to live with whatever we get. So there we go. Joe, a little health scare himself. That lump in his chest that he thought was cancer. Yeah, well, what is it, mate? Just tell me it's a lump in the chest. Because if you tell me it's a lump in the chest, then it's all good. If it's cancer, well then, mate, we better get that thing cut out. And not only that, but hey, we need to get ourselves jumping on another cruise. Well, what can I say? Excitement plus 2024. What does that hold? Well, we're working up towards a fantastic cruise that's going to be happening, and that is going to be happening on the 21st of October. And if it's the 21st of October, it's going to be the Amethyst Haze group cruise. And I know there's a few people, possibly in the chat, who will be going on that cruise, and I can tell you they're going to be having an absolutely amazing time. So, what was it, Joe? If it wasn't cancer, it's a calcified scar. Man, that's awesome. And yes, Sharon, we do pray it's not cancer. And the good news is it isn't. Thank God, it's just calcified fatty lump of scar tissue, which, if it was bothering you, could be cut out. And that's a good thing. Get rid of the negatives. Get rid of what you don't want to make room for what you do want. And Sharon, you're saying it exactly the way I say it. Thank God it wasn't cancer. Praise God. Absolutely. All right. Now, Joe, I was drinking another one of these mountain goats, and I was going to drink it with you on air, but you know what? I finished it, so therefore we'll leave the mountain goat there. I have banned anybody who's used that F word. You know that. Joe said he'll keep an eye on it. Can't get complacent. No, mate. Can't get complacent with health. So the good news is there are some cruises happening. Amy's cruise is going to happen in October. You know what, guys? 357 days to Christmas. 363 days to New Year's Eve. We've got a leap year this year, so that's going to be an interesting one. Thanks, mate, from Joe. And Sharon is saying to Joe that she has problems with scar tissue. Sometimes she hates it. You know what, Sharon? I'd get rid of the scar tissue. No, I'm trying to come up with a naughty joke, but it's not going to be good. So I think I'll shut up right there. Joe is saying that in all fairness, he doesn't even remember how he hurt himself there. Yeah, that's even the harder things. In the with regard to the Helping Hands for Cruising side of things, folks. For those that are interested, on Saturday we will be having our board meeting. That should go down really well, and with that all happening, there will be a number of things to discuss. And next week, Tuesday, I can come up with the board findings, so you can have a discussion. We can have a discussion about that. But as part of those plans, the Ducks cruise is on the 2nd of January, almost a year away yesterday. So that'll be awesome. Oh, look who's in town. Radio Jonesy on tour. Mate, those last reviews of Tassie have been frickin' awesome. Frickin' awesome. Joe is saying g'day to Jonesy. Jonesy back to Joe. And Joe is saying, Jonesy in the house. Yep. G'day, Sean. How you going? Okay. G'day, Sean. Can be one or two people. But I'll find out who that person is in a moment. Okay. I won't find out right now. I will have to do this to find out. All right. Jonesy is saying thank you. Well, mate, it's an easy one. It's really simple. It's an awesome thing. You know, what you're doing is showing off Tassie, and Tassie is an awesome place. What more can I say? Yeah, I think I know who that might be. Joe is guessing it's Bonnie. Sometimes Bonnie does say g'day, other times she doesn't. So, having a look on Facebook, I will say yes, it is Bonnie. So, g'day Bonnie, welcome aboard. Nice to have you here. Sharon is saying g'day to Jonesy, and Joe is guessing, and you were right, mate. Well. Jonesy saying g'day to Sharon, but the well is for young Denise over here. G'day Denise, welcome aboard. Nice to have you here. Yes, it is Sean. What more can I say? Now, Denise, you working? You finishing a shift, or you starting a shift? Joe is correct. It is Bonnie. Good morning, Denise from Sharon. Joe is saying g'day to Denise. Joe is saying, geez, I'm good. We know you're good, mate. We know that you can look up on Facebook and tell me who it is. Denise is saying g'day to Joe and Sharon. You need to visit Sean, says Radio Jonesy. Yeah, you're right, mate. I do need to visit. We'll see how we go with that. Denise is at work. She's got 4 hours to go. Denise, I hope it's a safe shift for you, and not too many stresses. Not too many stresses at all. So, okay. So let's have a look and see What else is happening? In terms of what ships are in where, having a quick squizzy here. In Brisbane today, Joe is saying he couldn't be bothered. The way it was said gave it away. Well, I was thinking it could have been somebody else by the name of David Burgess, but there we go. Everyone is asleep. Oh, Denise, that's what we need. Shh. Okay, I won't say very much. Joe, hope Ross's driver's okay. Been thinking about him all day. Yeah, mate. Hopefully Ross will come in and let us know. Okay, so today in Brisbane we've had the Carnival Luminosa, and on Friday will be the Quantum of the Seas. Saturday will be the Pacific Encounter, and Sunday the Carnival Luminosa. If we are looking at a sunny Melbourne, the ships that are in port in Melbourne that were in port today, for starters, hang on, let it just catch up. So what was in port today was the Aida Sol was in port today, and I should have gone down and had a look, but I didn't. But tomorrow we will have the Seabourn Odyssey and the Azamara Journey. On Friday will be Queen Elizabeth, and on Sunday will be the Europa. Okay, that's enough for the moment. Bonnie is saying that she's awake, started 2024 with severe... Oh my gosh. Gosh. You okay? Is everything okay? Or I hope you haven't had to go to a hospital or anything. I hope you're okay, Bonnie. Prayers for you, my young friend. Okay, today in Sydney we had the Celebrity Edge at the Overseas Passenger Terminal. The Disney Wonder and the Crystal Symphony were both at White Bay. Actually, no, Disney Wonder was at White Bay and Crystal Symphony was at the Eden Cruise Wharf, because on tomorrow Crystal Symphony will head to White Bay and the Resilient Lady will hit on tomorrow at the Overseas Passenger Terminal and leave on Friday, so it's doing an overnighter. So that'll be an interesting one. Yes, we cruise. 24 days until you're on board a cruise. Okay, which cruise are you going on, Denise? Which one? Where are you headed? What are you doing? And can I get in your suitcase? 24 days until we cruise again. Okay, Jonesy is saying that Thursday in Burnie is the Adasol. Hey, that's cool. Not okay, supposed to go to the doctor today. Hurt herself trying to keep Princess safe during the New Year's Eve fireworks. Oh, that's a real shame. That's a real shame. Well, get yourself well. I demand it. Joe, meanwhile, the road toll starts to climb in New South Wales. A 65-year-old man was killed when his ute collided with a station wagon on the Castlereagh Highway between Gilgandra and Coonamby. Mate, that's not good. That's not good. Wish people would be more careful on the roads. Jonesy's saying that on Saturday is Crystal Symphony. And Denise is saying Carnival Valor out of New Orleans, Costa Maya and Cozumel. OMG. How's your Spanish? Parla Español. Oh no, that's the wrong language. I've thrown 3 languages in together. Italian and God knows what. Bonnie is saying busy cruising season in Australia, Brisbane and Sydney, busy ports. Sure are. Thank goodness we've got cruising back. There have been a lot of businesses that have not done too well. Denise, a ute is Aussies have this habit of shortening things. So what is a ute? It is a utility truck. Would be, yeah, that's basically it. So yes, you are correct. But again, a ute's the best way. It's like when we say go and make a U-turn, we say go and chuck a Yui. Ute, nice, short and easy, to the point. Everybody knows what we're talking about. Denise is saying poquito español. Oh well, poquito more than me, let me say. Joe is saying a ute is an Australian equivalent of an American pickup truck. The ute was an Australian design and invention. Yep, and it was a Holden ute. Jonesy, the 14th will be the Norwegian Spirit. Has its first trip this season. Well, that's cool. And Denise is saying, gotcha. That's what I was thinking. Well, what else were you thinking? Bonnie, I only have one cruise booked, and it's May 2025 cruise Alaska on Crown Princess. Man, that's going to be fantastic. Denise makes a Yui too. Oh, that's cool. So you make a Yui, and we also go down to the dunny. You know the dunny. Some people might call it the thunderbox. But yeah, that's Australia. I should come up with one Australian word a day. Every time I come on, the word for today is Yui. Joe, no, it was a Ford. So was I wrong, huh? It was a fraud. Bonnie is saying what she watched Deadlock on Amazon Prime and is learning to speak Aussie. Man, that's great. G'day's a start. And then, of course, there's Yui or Ute. Ute's a good one. And Ute. Joe will be doing a video of Aussie slang for the Americans. Hey mate, you and I should have a discussion where we just talk slang all the time. See how these Americans handle it. You know? I mean, we can understand American. Can they understand Aussie? Now that's the real question. Well. So, talking about cruises, we've got Amy's cruise going on the 21st of October 2024. That's this year. Followed by Christmas Day, which will be in 357 days. Followed by New Year's Day, which is in 363 days. In 365 days, we will be having the following cruise. Cruise, let me tell you, leaving out of Sydney and going to the South Pacific with some amazing people on board. Come and join us, come have some fun with us. You're going to be absolutely taken aback when you jump on a cruise with us. You never know, you might have some fun. Joe is saying, might put them out a bit. You're not wrong, mate. Let's do it, huh? I mean, we can tell them, and if they don't really get it, I'll tell you what, why don't we do the recording in a place that's about 20 kilometres north of Wheelabarrow Backs, 2 kilometres south of Tagatrockalong. You know, right where the Ettamogga pub is. I reckon that would do us a real good turn, don't you think, mate? Bonnie is saying she knows Ute, and we do U.S. in the U.S. too. Yeah, but do you chuck them? Or do you do a U.E.? We chuck U.E.s. Nah, I like learning new stuff, says Denise. Well, that's awesome. All right, Joe is saying you can pick up a fatal accident based on whether the New South Wales Police Force Crash Investigation Unit, the New South Wales equivalent of VicPol's Major Crash Investigation Unit, is in attendance. That's not good. That's not good. Oh, well, isn't it hard when you're travelling out there, you're having fun, and you see a group of police that you might not have wanted to see because you know what it means. Okay. Shazza and Dazza went to Macca's while listening to Akadaka. Hey, mate, you know that there's Shazza and Gazza on their HH4C board. And Shazza, every time I say that, Gazza looks at Shazza and says, what the hell is he talking about? Bonnie says, nope, we don't chuck them. We don't even chuck K-turns. K-turns. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got to chuck a Yui. It's the only way to get around. No, Joe, don't give the... Joe, they don't need the translation just yet. Not this early. They need to keep on thinking, right? If we can string them on along a bit, they might stay until the end of the show. But if we're going to be talking about it right now and giving them the answers, they'll just come in for 2 seconds and quit. Seriously. Yep. They don't even realise that Macca's is an Australian invention, because Australia is the only place that has Macca's. Everywhere else has McDonald's. And yes, we did bring in the McCafe, and the world took it to heart. Now, you're 20 kilos from Waikakamukau. Yeah, I think that's a really good spot there, right behind the Black Stump. I mean, how far away from the Black Stump are you? Because if you're 20 kilometres from Waikakamukau, I mean, you could be a stone's throw from Wheelabarrow, which is about 10 kilometres north of Tagatrockalong. Yep. Jonesy is saying last time he heard Chuck was on New Year's Day. Just, Jonesy, I love that. That depends on how much you've been drinking, mate. Joe is saying, I'm beyond the Black Stump, only a few hours. Oh, that's cool. 100 kilometres from Yakandanda. Oh, that's cool. Yakandanda, which is, well, actually on the way to Yakandanda, we'd go through Wagga Wagga. And, yeah, that's cool. Bonnie is saying she can say and spell Alice Springs. Looks like a nice place to visit. Alice Springs is right in the middle of nowhere. It's a little bit away from a place called Uluru, which is the Rock. Yeah, it is a reasonable place to visit, but it is a little country town. So there we go. Joe, there's another one beyond the Great Sandstone Wall. Yeah? Yeah. She lives near a lake, Okeechobee. That's but you're on the right hand side of the rock of Florida, right? Joe is saying that That's a New South Wales piece of slang. Okay, the Great Sandstone. So where's the sandstone wall? Bonnie, we are not allowed to call it Ayers Rock anymore. The indigenous people decided that it was a holy place, and so the name of it got changed to Uluru. She's on the southeast side of Florida. So the Great Sandstone Wall refers to the most amazing part of New South Wales. It refers to the Blue Mountains. Well, there's a contradiction in terms, because the Great Sandstone Wall ain't sandstone. It's beautiful. It's blue. It's blue from the eucalyptus, if anybody's interested. It makes, and that's why they call the area the Blue Mountains. So if you were standing on top of the mountains and you were looking down, you'd see all the eucalyptus fumes in the air, and they actually make the area look blue. It's absolutely gorgeous. Oh, thank you, Sir Joe. See, I do know my New South Wales history, or geography, or whichever way you want to put it. I know something. Something's better than nothing, right? So, who else is cruising? Joe, and if it catches fire, the fire would spot ahead of itself due to the oil. That's correct. That's correct. It is. It's all eucalyptus oil in the air. So it's unbelievable. Eucalyptus keeps the koalas happy. To be honest with you, Bonnie, the eucalyptus leaf has very little nourishment in it. That's why they eat solidly, and when they eat they have to go to sleep, and so they sleep a good 20 to 23 hours a day. So finding koalas is few and far between, which is interesting because it's an interesting creature. And there we go. It's all half the fun. So coming down under, for anybody who's coming down for the Ducks cruise, I'm suggesting come at least a couple of days early. You get an opportunity to go to the Blue Mountains, have a look. You might, if you've got enough time, head up to Queensland so you can go and see Australia Zoo, then come back down to Sydney, have a look at Taronga Zoo, have a look at Taronga Zoo. The animals have the most amazing view of Sydney. And going into the Blue Mountains is awesome. As well as that, go and look at the coat hanger, the Harbour Bridge, and then spend some time at the Opera House. Some beautiful things around there. And right behind the Opera House is a park, which is awesome. Joe is saying he remembers driving home from a visit to his sisters in late 93. There was a massive bushfire in the mountains that had fire trucks at strategic points on the Great Western Highway. Oh, yeah. Well, Daniel, welcome aboard. Happy New Year to you, my friend. Nice to have you here. Joe is saying that the Taronga Zoo has seals and sea lions. You'd love to see them. Mate, it is an absolutely fantastic view. Looking at the seals, at all the animals there. The animals have got a most amazing view. Like, you can take a gondola, a cable car, up to the top of the... Okay, here's the thing. First things first. You jump on a Captain Cook ferry. You take that ferry, or you don't need Captain Cook. You can just use the ordinary ferry, and you go from Circular Quay, which is right in the middle of the city. Which is where all the boats are, all the ships are, the overseas passenger terminal. You go from Circular Quay. Oh, and by the way, when you're at Circular Quay, go and have a look at the rocks. It's an area just near there. But when you get onto Circular Quay, you catch a ferry across to Taronga Zoo. It's just the other side of the bridge. Actually, it's the same side of the bridge as the harbour, as the overseas passenger terminal, but it's the other side of the waterways. You jump off the ferry, you go into Taronga Zoo there, you take the cable car to the top, and then you walk your way down to the bottom. The entrance is right at the top, but you can walk your way down to the bottom. And when you walk your way down, you'll go through all the exhibits. Absolutely awesome. Joe is saying a Happy New Year to Daniel, and Bonnie is saying in the Miriam Margolyes TV special about her caravan adventure throughout Australia, she went to a koala sanctuary and saw a mom koala up in a tree with a baby. There is in Upper North Victoria, near a place called Hillsville. There's the Hillsville Sanctuary, and that's got koalas and a few other animals there as well. For those across the pond, Australia does actually have some amazing wildlife farms, not farms, reserves, that's the word I was looking for, some wildlife reserves where you can go down and have a look at things and just have an absolute ball. Sharon saying g'day to Daniel, Happy New Year. Joe is saying, did you know Taronga West Plains Zoo is the only open range zoo in New South Wales? Joe, did you know that Werribee Zoo is an open plains zoo here in Melbourne? Just outside of Melbourne, a place called Werribee. Jonesy is saying it's cool just to walk over the harbour bridge on the footpath. The view is amazing. Yeah, you're right. It is an amazing view. And the best time to do it is when you've got a ship going underneath. Is that at Mossman? No, because I think Mossman's further over. Bonnie, Animal Planet has a whole TV show devoted to the Taronga Zoo. Yep. Be worth a watch. Joe is saying that baby koalas are indeed called Joeys, his namesake, as are baby kangaroos and wallabies. Now, don't forget, folks, kangaroos and wallabies may look the same, but they are a little bit different. Sanctuaries. Thank you, Joe. Thank you. That was the word I was looking for. Taronga Zoo is at Mossman. Okay, I was wrong. Thank you for the correction. I don't know this. I've forgotten the cities, the Sydney suburbs. I know where Rose Bay is, and I know where Dover Heights is, and I know where Edgecliff is, and all those places. Joe's saying that would also include the sister zoo, Taronga West Plains Zoo, which is in your hometown of Dubbo. That is correct. I knew it was part of Dubbo. Well, work well and listen well. You never know. We might drop a real nugget of information. Okay, so now the Werribee Zoo is also interesting because just near Werribee Zoo is Werribee Mansion. And if you were to come down to Melbourne, Werribee Mansion would be an awesome place to look at. Werribee Mansion, Werribee Zoo, the Shrine of Remembrance, as well as Government House, or where the governor lives, which is called Government House, and also the backyard of Government House is the Botanical Gardens. Absolutely great thing to have a look at. All right, Jonesy is saying Tasmanian devil babies, Joeys, are born the same size as a grain of rice. Since the Tasmanian devil is a marsupial, its young are called Joeys, similar to its relatives such as wombats and koalas. I didn't know that koalas were in that family. Joe, you mentioned Rose Bay. I have a friend who has a chocolate shop which can be found at 700 New Southhead Road. Mate, let me tell you, you can go up and down that road and walk out as cargo, walk in as freight and be rolled out as cargo. Joe's seen the Shrine of Remembrance from a Melbourne tram. Well, that's an experience. You've got to be on a Melbourne tram. You used to be able to have a meal on a tram. There was a thing called the restaurant tram. But the restaurant tram has since been stopped for one reason or another. But the good news is it was a great way to actually see the city. There were 2 trips on it. An early one, which was the shorter, a later one which had like 5 courses. So 3 courses was the early one and 5 courses was the longer one. And it took you through places like St Kilda, up and down Ackland Street. Ackland Street, you just got to walk down the street. You do not need to go into any of the food places. But just walking down the street, you can put on 50 kilos. Just so much food. Joe is saying, ironically, he loved the free tram zone. That is cool. He thinks Sydney needs to look at that. Yeah. Well, the fact is that the best way to trip around the city is by tram. And we call them trams for those of you in the U.S. You would call them trolleys. They are... I think San Francisco have got some of our older tram cars. Bonnie is saying just west of where she lives, there's a place called Lion Country Safari, a drive-through animal reserve. So fascinating to see the animals in the wild, lions and ibex and giraffes. Giraffe licked the top of her van. Oh, wow. Streetcars, yeah, that's another name for them. Thank you, Joe. That's another name. Mate, for somebody who's never been to the US, you seem to be fluent in American. How did you manage that? Bonnie is saying San Fran has a lot of sea lions. You can hear them and smell them. Yeah, cable cars in San Fran, says Bonnie. Yep, well, they also took a lot of, I think it was them, not Seattle. Yeah, I think it was San Fran that took a lot of our old trams. Joe is saying TV, watch a lot of TV travel shows. Mate, there's got to be a time when you can actually get on board a plane and make your way over there. You never know. You know, stranger things could happen. Get to see some beautiful things. Anyway, enough of that. Joe is saying, did you know the V-Line Sprinter rail motors were built in New South Wales? Yes, I do know that. They were built by Cummins, not Cummins, with a C. One of them companies. Jonesy is saying, I was on a trolley or a tram in Memphis and the driver said it was an old Melbourne tram. Oh, that's cool. Did he ding the bell? Did he ring your bell? Okay, sorry. That was a play on words. Jonesy might get to know the song that I was referring to there. And let me just do this. I've got to do this because I know that Jonesy would appreciate it if I did it. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So, also, Melbourne is renowned for the trams, like we said, but it's also renowned for the hook turn. So anybody who's doing any turns in the city, you need to get right into the left-hand lane, and because you get into the left-hand lane and you put your right blinker on, the minute you stop in the middle of the intersection, you become part of the traffic that you're going into, and therefore you get the right to turn when the traffic light turns green. So Joe says Agonin and Company in Broadmeadow, New South Wales built them. They have two Deutz BF8L513C turbocharged air-cooled V8 diesel engines. Whoa, that's a fair whack. Now wait a minute. That is the V-lines. Yep. Radio Jonesy is having a bit of a giggle there, which is great because he got the song reference. You can ring my bell, ring my bell. Okay, stop that, Sean. Bonnie's going to run in a minute. I held on for dear life when I rode the cable car in San Fran going up those steep hills. Yes. Now, those cable cars, they did have a cable right in the middle that pulled them up and pulled them down the hills, didn't they? I think that's how they worked. I'll tell you where there's an interesting one is if you go into Switzerland. They've got those rail cars that go on a cog, and that's an interesting one. Going on a cog. Stream Elements are saying, welcome to Hump Day with the Downunder Cruisers. Please support our channel so that we can support Helping Hands for Cruising. And so good news with Helping Hands for Cruising is we're just tidying up a couple of things, and we will be fully self-compliant, fully self-sufficient as a 501c3 with all the banking and all that sort of stuff. And then we'll get ourselves organised in Melbourne or in Australia so that we can then do the same thing here. So that'll be awesome. All right, Joe is saying he caught one of those Frankston to Hastings and deliberately sat next to the engine compartment just for the sweet sound of the Deutz air-cooled engine. These big German engines have a unique sound. Oh, they sure do. Anything German sounds unique. Yes, there is an overhead cable line. Just as I thought. The V-line trains all run diesel. The Metropolitan trains all run on electricity. So they have a cable going over the top, and they all run with that cable. As well as the tram cars. Now, it is against the law here to get on top of one of those vehicles unless they are in for repair, because that cable at the top has a huge amount of electrical energy, and so yes, those people will not have a good life. Okay, so Melbourne, Sydney, Adelaide is quite an exquisite little country town. You guys got to be there at some point. Coming to Adelaide as a guest, you'll get to see the Adelaide Balls and the Pigeon. Joe saying a V-configured Deutz air-cooled diesel runs a hydraulic-controlled cooling fan. The inlines run a belt. And you've got more to say. And actually, those engines, I believe, generate electrical current so that the train actually itself runs on the electrical energy, not necessarily the diesel power. That's what I'm led to believe. And I'm led to believe that by the guys that actually work on the rails themselves. Having said that, some of the guys that we train in our first aid business actually do lay the cables. They're all a bunch of sparkies, electric. See, there we go. There's your next Aussie word, sparkies, as in electricians, and they actually do take care of putting in the cables so that the trains can run. Okay, for anybody interested who wants to donate 2 helping hands, the one over there is the US one. So just put your phone up there, you'll get a US QR code. You can then donate in USD. If you go on the one that's above my head, click on that, you will donate in AUD. So there we go. Okay, Joe is saying not these ones. The Sprinters are driven by Voth T21R automatic gearboxes. Well, there's something I didn't know. I was under the impression that they all drove an electrical turbine, and the electrical turbine was the thing that actually generated the power. Bonnie's saying that her dad was a Sparky. And Joe is saying he had to laugh at a transport company in Queensland. They swapped Sydney with Brisbane. How could you do that? How could you do that? Who wants to go to Brisbane anyway? No, actually, Brisbane's a nice place. It's actually a very interesting city. Sydney, I'll be honest with you, the only thing that Sydney's got is the harbour, although it does have most of Australia's history. They said Sydney is in Queensland. I left a comment about who it was there that said Sydney is in Queensland. Yeah, well, yeah, it did take an opportunity. Some people do say silly things. Joe is saying Brisbane is cool. There's some really good eats in South Bank. There's some really good eats in Melbourne in South Bank as well. And Sydney's one of those places where the roads, especially on the south side of the city, or on the eastern side of the city, if you made 3 left-hand turns, you'd never end up in the place where you started, because it's incredibly hilly and the roads go in all sorts of shapes and sizes. At any rate, it is an interesting place to go and visit. Go down there because you'll go and see the now it's the Randwick Golf Course, but it's also the yacht. Joe, what's the yacht place where the America's Cup was kept? It's near Edgecliff. It's not Rose Bay. It's not Dover Heights, but it's the main yacht club there. And that anyway, you get to have a look there. There's some reasonably good eats around there. Get to walk on the pier there and have a look at all the yachts, especially if you come in before Christmas. You get to see all the yachts there ready to go on to the Sydney to Hobart yacht race. That's where they all dock. And then when the Sydney to Hobart goes off, they all go into the centre of and that's done on Boxing Day. They all go into the centre of the harbour and then wait for the gun to go off, and off they go down to towards Hobart. Joe is also saying there's a great company in Melbourne who has done business with. It's called Chocoholic Tours, and he's done one of their tours. Oh, that's awesome. Where did they take you? Did they go through Phillip Island and so forth? The best part of Rose Bay is the historic Qantas flying boat base as you get off the F4 Cross Harbour ferry. Yeah, that's actually a good view. But there's also a lot of places around there. Not only that, but there's also the bottom end of the military base, and also as you head around through to Dover Heights and so forth, You can actually walk around there and then walk around to the heads and actually watch the sailboats go out. It's really an amazing race. Some of the bigger boats will do it from Sydney to Harbour to Sydney to Hobart in about a day and a half to 2 days. The smaller ones take the better part of a week, but it's awesome to watch. Joe saying the flying boat base is now home to Sydney seaplanes. Ooh, that's cool. No, it's not King's Cross. It's just before King's Cross. King's Cross is at the top of the hill, but it's before King's Cross, where the boats all come on in. Where it's a really famous yacht club, the Sydney Yacht Club, Sydney Royal Yacht Club, I think it's called, or something similar. Anyway, it's just right near the beginning. You'll go past out of the city, out of King's Cross, down the bottom of the hill, and there it is on the left. Joe is saying, I'd love to do one of their flights, but he'd do it in the Cessna Caravan Amphibious. That's a nice aircraft, the Cessna Caravan. The good news about it is it's got a set of wheels inside the amphibious section, so if need be, it can actually land on land. And I believe Sydney, what they do, they use the water for the most part, but then as they bring them up onto the land, and the wheels are there. Interesting. Well, we've got quite a wide variety of discussion going on today, and the hour's almost up. So what I'm going to say to you folks is Ilana and I will be on Friday night for those across the pond. Saturday, Arvo at 2 p.m. for those on our side of the pond. The Caravan is Cessna's answer to Beechcraft King Air. It's a turboprop like the King Air. Okay, yes, but there's also another group that builds a Caravan based in Tyab here in Melbourne, and they build it there as well. And the Gippsland Air Company or something like that. Okay, you're back. Nice one, Denise. Thank you for coming back. I hope it wasn't too painful, the stuff you had to do. Anyway, what I was going to say was Ilana and I will be back on Friday evening for those of you across the pond. For those on our side of the pond, it'll be Saturday, Arvo, at 2 p.m. We'll be continuing our discussions. On Tuesday, the Helping Hands for Cruising will have their live stream going, and if I'm lucky enough, I might get somebody up on board with me. If not, well, tough luck. Also, next week, Wednesday, the Downunder Cruisers back on again. So we'll see how we go. Now, Bonnie is saying, yesterday I tried to help a mate from Perth, oh my, Emma Cruises Facebook page, about a cruise in Asia using a lightweight wheelchair, looking for accessible tour info. Actually, they might be better off hiring a scooter, because I know the scooters, if they do, they're the right sizes and so forth. Denise is saying, ironically, my back is now screaming. Just took a handful of meds. Oh boy, that's no good. You need a cruise. Joe is saying he's heading off. Talk on Friday and Saturday. Yeah, mate. We'll catch you. See you later, buddy. Thanks for staying in today. There we go. See you later, Joe. Okay, Stream Elements would like to thank all of you who donated, telling us for cruising. Please continue to give so that we can have more recipients joining us on our cruises. All right, Jonesy, 33 Peel Street, Kirribilli. Yes, that's where I'm thinking. Sydney Yacht Club. That's exactly where I was thinking. And Bonnie Poor Denise. I feel for her. I also took a handful of meds. I take my handful in the morning. It keeps my BP down. Blood pressure. All right, folks. Let me call it quits. You guys have those of you across the pond have an awesome day. Those of you on our side of the pond have an amazing night. And please, may all your wishes come true for 2024. And with that, folks, I'll sign off and say, have a great day, take care, and we're thinking about ya. Have fun.